want to welcome everybody to another episode of Tales from the Jails. We got a special guest, once again, someone who, did a lot of time in prison. Someone who you may have heard about with a group of guys who were out here, doing what they had to do to provide for themselves. Some may have said it was wrong. Some may have said it was right. But, we have our guy here, Kev Black, on the show today, who is going to speak to us about his life and what got him in prison and how he has changed his life around and how he is feeling today. What's going on with you, Kev? How's everything, man?
Everything, man. Praise be to Allah. I'm here. I'd like to thank you and your organization for having me here.
Appreciate that.
Like I was telling you, this is my first podcast. I had many offers, but something rang true to me through this one. So,
yeah.
And I said, let's do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw you. I was going through some tooth problems, man. I had tooth pain. I'm in line. I see you. I can't even figure it out. I'm in line. I'm like, that's the old head, man. I gotta start and say something to him. So I started popping, a couple of Tylenols, and then I'm putting the Ambersol on my tooth in the doorway. You come walking out. I say, hey, Assalamu alaikum, but I had to talk to you. So I'm glad we got you here. So, you're from Philadelphia, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And you, you spent a lot of time in prison, but can you elaborate what you can about what led to you going to prison?
Well, it's public knowledge. I'm one of the founding members of the JBM. For those who don't know what that acronym means, is just blowing money. When we started it, that's what it was called, just blowing money. But the federal government decided to give themselves their own title, and they call it the Junior Black Mafia. So.
Oh wow! So that wasn't something that y'all came up with. That was just something that they flipped that and made it the Junior Black Mafia.
They flipped it. They used the snitch to go on Channel 6 News behind a screen, and he said that he was the founder and the leader of the Junior Black Mafia, and that's how that got out, off of TV. But when we came together, it was just blowing money, because that's exactly what we were doing.
Wow.
Wow. Making it and blowing it,
So just blowing money, not Junior Black Mafia. So how did you feel when you saw that? Like, you saw that interview, you saw him say that. What was going on in your mind when you saw him flip that to,
Well, first and foremost, I knew who it was. I knew. I'm not going to give him any props to saying his name, but I knew exactly who it was. My daughter's mother, actually, I was asleep. She woke me up, and she said, "Look at this." So I'm looking at the TV, and then I'm sitting there, hearing this story, this elaborate story that he put together, that he was a part of the first Black Mafia, and the Junior Black Mafia was formulated from the nephews, the grandsons, and of the first Black Mafia, and he decided to put that together, and now you have the Junior Black Mafia. It was crazy, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't like I could get to him after that, because he was a federal witness, But it was crazy. He, and it grew like wildflowers, man. No matter what we said, no matter what we told people, we was the Junior Black Mafia.
It stuck to you.
It stuck.
But now you hear them say this, Junior Black Mafia, but you said at first y'all was just blowing money. So let's talk about the money for a minute. If you can elaborate, what were y'all doing to make money, to blow money? What was y'all doing? What was y'all expertise as far as getting money and blowing it?
Import and export drugs. That's it.
What kind of drugs was it? Like, what was it? Cocaine?
Anything that can get you high, we sold it. Anything that can get you high, we had our hands on it. Yeah, we did take some of the money and open businesses, try to do some legal things. But it was just all about money. It was all about drugs. That was it. We fled the neighborhood. We fled the East Coast and some parts of the West Coast with drugs.
Wow. And this the JBM was started by yourself, and who else was the co-founders of it?
Myself, as people know, Aaron Jones. Leonard Basil, Mark Casey, who's passed away. We covered parts of the city, you know what I mean? But it was only 5 of us that sat at the table.
Because it seemed like, you know, for me, like as a kid, it seemed like everybody was part of the JBM. It seemed like it was just like, you know, everybody,
all
mom,
over the city.
everybody, aunt, uncle. So it seemed like JBM was like 3 million strong, because it seemed like everybody was a part of JBM.
Well, that was a tactic. If you know, people know and understand. I know my brother and anybody that was incarcerated. That's a tactic that the federal government used. The federal government, they make any case that if they catch a guy with drugs, or you JBM. You know how many guys I ran into in the state penitentiary who had JBM in their records, and I don't know them, never knew them. Know people that don't know, you know, other people that don't know them. They was just caught with drugs, or a homicide was committed while they had drugs, or it was over drugs, and to sensationalize it in front of a jury, you say JBL.
Yeah,
you know.
That's crazy, because I had a old head. He used to always say, like, you know, because I know JBM was so worldwide as far as or citywide, have you on East Coast, West Coast, whatever. My guy Tracy Godown, he used to always say he was down with JBM. You know, JBM. We used to always do this back in the day. So I always said to me when I was a little younger.
Well, Tracy Godown, I'm gonna give him his props. He was he was out of JC's crew.
Okay.
You know, so he ain't lying to you.
Okay.
You know, like he never sat at the table, but he was a part of JC's crew.
Yeah, shout out to Godown. Godown is a real good dude too. Real good guy, man. Now, you guys at the height of your career, as far as JBM goes, just blowing money, Junior Black Mafia, whatever they want to call it, but we're gonna stick to just blowing money. That's what it originally was.
Yes.
So just blowing money at the height of that, what was I'll say the revenue? What was the numbers that was coming in every week, or you know, daily off of what y'all was doing in the streets?
I'm gonna just say this, you know, because it was a while ago, and it was so much coming in. To be able to determine like what was coming in a week, you know, I'm not giving no, you know, I'm not boasting or bragging about anything, but I was surpassed that, keeping track of what was coming in every week. My thing was to engineer it and make sure them people get their money, so we can keep afloat. So, you know, millions of dollars. Let me put it to you that way: millions of dollars.
Wow.
Millions.
And once again, we're not promoting this. We just
exactly
getting the facts out there to the streets. We're not promoting, you know, going out here selling drugs and anything of that nature. We're just getting the facts out there, just to be clear.
And
so
getting the facts out of their feet entails what led to jail ultimately.
Yes.
It's like a disclaimer.
Yep.
We definitely got a disclaimer.
So you guys are making millions of dollars a week. You know, everybody's wanting to be a part of JBM or claiming to be a part of JBM. At what point did you know that the feds or the police was on you?
Well, let's say this: for years, I want to say from '84 to possibly like 80, 87, the police knew nothing about us. We had a free reign of just making money. Nobody knew about the JBM. You know, we was just some guys that had the package.
Yeah.
You know, but as time went on, they started, you know, hearing about us. I could tell you a funny story. Mark Casey, good close friend of mine that passed away. He had a apartment that they would go to and hang out. The feds found out about this apartment. So I was just around the corner at a bar, you know, chasing, and I walked around to the apartment, not knowing that the feds is in there. And anybody that come to the door, you know, they're grabbing them. So I'm standing at the door, I rings the bell and turn my back to the door. When I turned back around, it was an M16 in my face. and the cop was telling me to come on in, step in. But the moral to the story was they locked us up, and they had this is when I first found out they had a task force strictly for us.
Yeah.
They took us down to this task force. Matter of fact, it was downtown. It was an old fire station downtown. Donardo's, I don't know if you remember the restaurant Donardo's, was right across the street from it.
Nah.
It was a popular restaurant back in the day for the Italians and for us to go to. They took us down to this task force. And I mean, I seen all the different players in the city, pictures on the wall. And we sitting in there, and I hear the cop saying, "Who's black?" He's asking the guys that they pulled out of the house, like, "Who's black?" And he was like, "Black? I don't know no black. I don't know who black is." They were like, "We trying to find out who black is." So he was like, "We don't know no black. We don't know no black." So I'm in the back room. They asking me. I said, "Look, I know them guys from playing football in the school. I was just coming around, just to hang out with them."
Yeah.
So he's like, "Well, these guys, these are some bad guys. They selling drugs and this and that, and they got they're part of a gang." And I was like, "Sir, I didn't know anything about that."
Yeah.
So he said, "All right, well, you can go." So I'm walking out of the police station, and they got right by the door. They got everybody that they took. It was 4 of them that they took out the apartment. I was the 5th one, and one of the guys, I'm not gonna say his name. He was a little intoxicated. He was like, "All right, black."
They just asked where black is.
And I turned around and I looked at him, but they didn't hear it.
Wow.
They didn't hear it, and I jetted out the door. So that I say that to say that things was going on. I was dead in it. I was doing my thing.
Exactly.
But they never knew who certain people was, so they was just formulating, putting things together from there.